Hello everyone, this is Miss Cromwell back with this week's homework help. And starting on Monday, we're doing repeated addition. Excuse us up here, I helped my class go through it a little bit earlier. But let's start over here on this one. So you can see it says 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. That's talking about individual groups. So here you have groups of 2, 1, 2, that's that one. Another group of 2, 1, 2, is here, 1, 2, there. 1, 2, here, 1, 2, there, 1, 2, right here, 1, 2, there. Okay, so that's what this is talking about. So if you wanted to add them up, we are talking about 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 to get our sum. Many students, most students actually at 3rd grade know how to count by 2. So they could go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay. So, but if you come here, this is saying how many groups of 2. So this is saying 7 groups of 2. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 groups of 2 is 14. Students should know that both repeated addition and the multiplication fact is going to be the same. If they are getting 2 different answers, that is incorrect, and they need to go back and double check. Okay. Looking over here, it did it for you just as an example. It said, like this one said 10 plus 10, and it's talking about these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is in this group. And it's multiplication, so every single group is the exact same. So if that's 10, this has to be 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. Also, you have 1 group, 2 group. 2 groups of 10 is 20. Again, these numbers are the exact same. Okay, so that's how we do the first part. In the back, we have multiplication with arrays. And there is an example up here. I gave my class this example earlier. But let's go over here to 6 times 4. Okay, your directions say to draw an array to find the answer to each multiplication fact below. Be sure you draw your symbols in neat, straight rows and columns. That is highly important, especially if students plan on using this technique in their tests. Because if you don't draw it correctly, you will get the wrong answer. Okay. While we hope that students will know that 6 times 4 is 24, it's still new. And unfortunately, not every family is working with their students. So we are trying to teach different ways and different strategies for students to learn this. So this is the array method. This is saying 6 rows of 4. Okay. So that means 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put 1 up here because I messed up. 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 one way. And we know we're going to have 4. Again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I would recommend you as a parent to stop your student and ask if this is an array. Their answer should be no. And you should ask them why. And there's 2 reasons. 1, students are taught that all arrays are either in the shape of a square or a rectangle. Always. There's no way around it. Also, students also are taught that arrays have to have equal amounts in each row. So if the first row has 4, guess what? The second row has 4. And the third row. And the 4th row, and the 5th row, and the 6th row. Now, I know mine is not perfect, but you can see how they're all in a line. Okay? That way, if students need to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, they will get the right answer. If these numbers are not in a row, if they're not in line, if it's not neat, they will get the wrong answer. And there's nothing we can do about it. So please, please, please emphasize to your student why it is important for these rows and columns to be in line and to be neat. All right, on to the back, we have Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday, it says draw equal groups to represent the facts below. Again, 3 groups of 8. That is how that's being read. So 3 groups, students should automatically be known to go ahead and write 3 big circles. Kind of looks like Mickey Mouse. Of 8. That means 8 goes in each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, if students don't know that 3 times 8 is 24, they can count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. However, if they do not take their time and ensure that they have the right amount in each group, because they are equal groups, they will have the wrong number. Okay, so these strategies are only helpful if your student decides to actually take their time and do it correctly. Next, we have, this is just some review. It says circle all the numbers that round to 3,000. And that means for each of these numbers, if we're rounding to the thousands, that means, yes, we're rounding to that, but we're looking at the 10. And not the tens, oh my goodness, the hundreds. So this 100 is a 4. Since it's 4 and below, that means you would round down to 2,000. Now, if it was a 5 or above, you would round up. But since it's 4 and below, this is rounded to 2,000, so we're not going to circle it. This one is 3,399. Again, we're rounding to 3,000. I'm going to put my box around that thousands place and my arrow over at the hundreds. That is a 3, which means I'm going to round down and keep this the same. So yes, this does round to 3,000. All right, let's look at this one. 3,951. Again, I worried about the thousands, so I'm going to look at the hundreds. And the hundreds is a 9. And since that is 5 and above, because 9 is higher than 5, that means I'm going to round this up, which means this is 4,000. I am not going to circle that. If I come over to this one, 3,289, I care about my 1,000 spot. I'm going to look at my 100 spot. That 2 is under 5. Again, I apologize, under 4. 4 and below rounds down, and the 1,000 spot stays the same. So the 2 means that this is going to stay at 3 and the rest would be 0. So yes, 2,089 is closest to 3,000. So students need to do this exact same strategy on all of these numbers. When your student gives their homework in on Friday, as teachers should be able to look at each one and see that they have worked them out. Coming over to Thursday, we're doing more arrays. Blank rows of blank. How many rows? 1, 2, 3. How many are across? So how many columns do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So then to make a multiplication problem, they would say 3 times 10. Again, students are very great at counting by tens. So we could do 10, 20, 30. If they're not, and this is confusing, have them count all of the boxes. If they don't get 30, please tell them to go back and recount. This is a great way to make sure that your child has great number sense. Because if they're counting incorrectly, that is going to cause them a lot of problems in math. Okay, so that is a great one. I'm going to do number 4 as well. Number 4, again, blank rows of blank. How many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 rows of blank. So how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 rows of 6. So you're going to make that a multiplication. Again, 7 rows of 6 equals, and your student should be able to get you to 42. Okay? We don't expect students to know all of these offhand, but we do expect them to be able to draw a model and give us an answer. So that is that. Down here is a review. This is a great word problem. Maria has spent 1,054 days in school since kindergarten. Her little brother has spent 716 days in school. How many more days has Maria spent in school than her brother? Students should be able to know that this is a subtraction problem. And if you should ask them why. How do they know? How do they know? Because it's asking how many more, which is going to be a difference. So if you stack these up, and all of our classes should know that they have to stack to solve. So 1,054 minus 716. In the one place, we have 4 minus 6. Your student should be able to say, you cannot take 6 away from that 4. So you have to borrow. That 5 becomes a 4. That 4 becomes a 14. 14 minus 6 is 8. 4 minus 1 is 3. 0 minus 7. Oh, I cannot take 7 away from that 0. So I have to borrow. That 1 becomes a 0. That 0 becomes a 1. 10 minus 7 is 3. So while we do want to see the answer, we also really want to see how they came up with that. In 3rd grade, we cannot use calculators. So please do not allow your child to use one. It is not helpful. If you have any questions whatsoever, please, please, please reach out to your student's teacher. Please reach out to me. Even if I'm not your student's teacher, I can't say I'm always available, but I will do what I can to make myself available. And even though I'm not your student's teacher, sometimes hearing it from other people is helpful. So if that may be helpful to you, just let me know. Thank you all for being here. And I hope you all have a great night.